I'm Murray Grigor. With Sean Connery, wrote this book, Being a Scot. It's not a memoir, it's really a kind of survey of various Scottish topics, from art to architecture to comedy to sport and so on, and things that really interested Sean, because he left school at 13, really knowing very little about his country. And then he did a film, his last film, Extraordinary League of Gentlemen, didn't really get anywhere. He hated the director, Steve Norrington, decided to do no more filming. At the same time, he was doing a book on his memoirs, really, his Hollywood memoirs and his film, life and film and so on, with Hunter Davis, and that was going nowhere too, because they wanted more Hollywood tittle-tattle. He really wanted a serious book about Scotland, so I had made a film years ago before, and he said, Murray, could you think about this? And so we got together and wrote this book. First chapter is quite autobiographical, but then what really changed his life is extraordinary. Here we are in Toronto. He was asked by a great film director from Canada, Paul Almond, to do Macbeth for Macbeth for Canadian schools, and he did that, and it changed his life because, first of all, Macbeth, you know, he's known in the world as a serial killer, a thug, and so on, but it got him thinking that Scotland could never have been as dark. How did this happen? How did history get warped? And Sean was saying one of his favourite films, of course, is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, where they asked the editor of the Shinbone, he said, when the legend is so strong, we just print the legend. So the legend of Scotland, it's been absolutely thwarted by the concept of these blood and one long brawl of Scottish history. Whereas in fact, there have been episodes of Scottish history where there's been enlightenment, and of course, the Enlightenment is one of the great periods in Scotland in the 18th century, where really, in many ways, it was the kind of cockpit of intellectual thought in Europe. So the book is really an investigation about all these aspects of Scotland, some good, some bad, that interest Sean. He said, Murray, write this book with me where I would, leaving school, know more about my country than I did when I left. So that's what this book's really about.